Hi, my name is Barb Smith, and in this podcast entitled Denying Yourself Doesn't Mean Depriving Yourself, I want to talk about one of the biggest issues facing women today. We feel that we must sacrifice ourselves in order to meet the needs of those around us. But the reality is we are not going to help anyone until we have properly learned to take care of ourselves. In this podcast, I want to share my personal journey to wholeness. It began in a very difficult season of my life several years back. My physical health was deteriorating, and my emotional and mental well-being was in a dark, downward spiral. Tough circumstances at work and hurtful accusations that sent me reeling kept me emotionally drained and teetering on despair. How could this be happening to me? It was the worst of times, but ended up being the best. Because out of those dark, depressing days came some extraordinary changes in my life. While people were beating me down, God started the process of changing the way I thought of myself, as these difficulties revealed the fragile, wavering opinion I had of myself. I believed that I wasn't good at anything. The gift in these painful circumstances was my desperation. And after saying no to several opportunities to get help during that difficult period, I finally said yes and took a course that brought me face to face with my personal demons. At this course, I heard things like you need to love and value yourself. People were telling me that the opinion I had of myself was not healthy. And as much as I put on a facade behind smiles and the attitude that I'm good, people saw through it, and a few even mentioned, you need professional help. I was offended and couldn't actually believe that they thought that about me, until two other members of the little group I worked with at the seminar said the same thing. My head was swirling. A few weeks later, I was wandering through the aisles of our local bookstore, and the title of a book caught my attention. It grabbed me because it targeted the emotional struggles and negative feelings that I had about myself that had been exposed at the seminar I attended. The book, entitled The Emotionally Healthy Woman, was written by a pastor's wife, Jerry Cesaro. As I read this book and embraced what Cesaro was saying, it became the key to unlocking the dark, musty room in my mind where I stored all the unhealthy beliefs I held about myself. Along with the course and this book, I finally got the message. I needed to clean out that room. I needed to finally throw out all that garbage thinking. I was on a quest because loving or liking myself was all a mystery to me, and I wasn't even sure this was correct theology. Women believe that our lives need to be one of self-sacrifice and denial because good women put themselves last and the needs of everyone else first. When we do this, it invariably ends badly for us because we end up angry and resentful and even bitter. There is no joy in giving or serving when you do it under a sense of obligation. Women in particular have grossly misunderstood one verse in the Bible. The verse reads, "Then Jesus said to his disciples, 'Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me.'" According to Cesaro, where we go wrong is when women interpret this verse as meaning we must deny ourselves good things in order to be seen as a spiritual woman. But it is really referring to such things as gossip, slander, or lying. It is in no way referring to denying the good things that nurture our soul and make us feel happy and fulfilled. We also think this verse means we must say yes to every request made of us. But we can't help others until we have first helped ourselves. When they give the flight instructions on a jet, We are told before helping a friend or child, you must make sure you put on your own oxygen mask first. We can only look after others if we have first taken care of ourselves. If we don't, then both are at risk, and I fear that is where many women are at. I know I was. The Bible says that we need to love our neighbor as ourselves. But this leads to the obvious question: how many women truly love themselves? I think most women are like me. I read the Bible verses that God loved me, but in my heart, I wasn't sure I could like, let alone love me. I didn't think I could do anything. I didn't believe God had a purpose for my life. If we allow ourselves to live our lives under the interpretation that we deny ourselves all the time, whether we feel like it or not, convenient or not, we invariably turn into a people pleaser. Without proper boundaries in place that protect us from overdoing it and saying yes to the wrong things, we will become angry, resentful, and unhappy. I recall many times doing things because I thought it was spiritual in a self-sacrificing way. And I would come home drained and exhausted with little energy left for my family and their needs. So, when Jesus said you must love your neighbor as yourself, he was actually saying we can't love our neighbors and the people around us without first taking care of our needs: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual.